We have 2 mystery guests.
He's talking to himself. He's a ventriloquist. I'm trying so hard to learn that ability, but it's really hard.
Oh, ventriloquism?
Sort of, kind of don't got it. But one day I will master it. And it's gonna be fucking awesome.
Alright, cool. Well, we're live and talking about random shit while drinking.
Oh, good.
It's behind me. Or his leg, yeah.
Oh, it doesn't even show you the real time.
Oh, I mean, we could. Right here.
Uh-huh.
There we go. Yeah.
Hello. Hello, Internet.
Hello, Internet.
This is a really unflattering angle.
Move over.
It's because I'm up high.
Yeah.
Wow.
You go down low.
You got a pillow?
I'm fine. It's fine.
You're fine? It's fine. Everything's fine.
Everything's fine. It's like the dog. Everything's on fire around him. This is fine.
Yeah. Freaking. So, yeah. Words and stuff.
I know, we were just so talkative.
I know. I know. It's amazing. As soon as there's a camera on you, you're just like...
I don't know, it's like when I stream, when I'm gaming, I like have all these, I'm funny, and like, I talk all the time to myself while I'm gaming, and I'm always like, how I'm really witty, and I'm smart, and I'm funny, and then as soon as the thing comes on, I'm like, durr. I'm gonna make a fart joke.
Well, what were we talking about?
I don't know, we've covered a lot of topics already so far.
We were talking about abortion.
Yes, we were talking about abortion.
Yeah, no, shit's all like... No, we were talking about how we're in the upside down. We're like...
Oh, yeah. Yeah, okay, yeah.
Like, abortion is kind of being celebrated in some places, and, like, marriage is being talked about as if it's, like, something to be frowned upon and avoided.
I think marriage should be avoided, because why do you need the government in on your loving somebody?
Well, pragmatically, because taxes are a little better.
Yeah.
Like... Taxes.
It's just weird. Marriage is a weird concept to me.
I remember getting a lot more back when I was working construction and had a family.
You had a dependent?
Yeah, well, I still have a dependent.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's, something with tax privileges. I think it's sweet.
But if you just live with somebody long enough, you're common law.
But it doesn't have the same legal ramifications.
So you didn't sign anything?
Yeah, like, there's a certain amount of, like, entitlement that you're entitled to if you were, like, married.
Yeah.
Then if you're common law. It's close-ish now, but... I don't know, plus there's the big party.
Yeah.
And who doesn't want to party hard in celebrating yourself?
They're so expensive, though. The divorce is, like, twice as bad. Oof.
Yeah, well, you're breaking up, like, twice as long as you're actually in love with the person.
Yeah. Although some people nowadays actually think that you shouldn't marry out of love, but marry out of, like, what you can benefit for each other.
That's legitimately what it used to be. I think
marriage was never about love.
Yeah, like, I remember this, I think it was Sir Winston Churchill. I could be, like, way off base. But there was a fairly prominent person who said something along the lines of, like, you should never love your wife. That's such a foolish thing to do.
Love makes you do stupid things.
Yeah. Which, I mean, I'm not saying that's the right way to go.
Yeah.
Because it's like, it might be nice if you're down with the person's company and shit, but... Yeah.
The way that I see it is like you getting married in Final Fantasy. You don't marry out of love, but you get benefits from it.
Yep. That I did.
Yeah.
I am married online.
It was a beautiful wedding. A beautiful reception.
Well done. Well done. Watch, that's actually a legal marriage.
Oh my god, I would die.
Can you imagine?
He's in another country, so it better not be.
He's like some international law where that's like a thing. He just shows up one day. He's like, "Hi, so I'm living here now."
No.
But can he though? Because he is American, and if that wall gets built, none of them can come over.
Bye.
Like bigger ladders.
Oh,
Come on,
You guys-
Mexicans have been doing it for years.
you guys ever see that little ladder competition where those people actually like hook on a ladder and they climb up it and they go to the next level and they just like
Yeah.
literally like a
Yeah.
competition of ladders. Basically, get to the top as quickly as you can using this little piece of ladder.
Is that not freaking ridiculous?
It's like CrossFit training. Oh my god, that shit's crazy.
Yeah, I started working out more. That's
Pilates.
Home videos until I get to the gym.
I got like a pull-up bar for like the door frame, kind of sits in there. That thing's pretty sweet. I'm not gonna lie.
I've always been afraid of those. I'm like, I'm gonna knock it off somehow, and I'm gonna eat shit.
I'm like
Yeah.
digging into the wall. Like, there's
Yeah.
actually like a bit that's like worn into like the the trim. Yeah, it's going into the trim. So I'm apparently pretty heavy.
You should be doing it on like this.
Yeah.
It won't fit on that.
Yeah, no.
You'd have to put like a
Needs-
stripping on the other side
Yeah.
and then like a post down. Like it's specifically designed for a door. When I build my house, when I buy the property, whenever I've got enough saved, I've started saving. I'm so happy. Get a mutual fund. It's sweet.
Okay, so how big do you want this house? Because I was just talking to a lady today at my work, and she just bought, she's building a house. It's like 19 square feet, I think. Huge house. All right,
19
for like
square feet. That's like
100?
1,900 square feet.
okay.
Thank
That's
you.
gonna be
Thank
like
you.
bigger
Yeah.
than mine.
So like basically, and she's paying like $365, I think, for it. Yeah.
Is she doing? How much work is she doing herself?
I have no idea. I didn't get that far into it, but they're basically building like ground up.
Yeah, because
So,
like I'm gonna be building ground up.
she did do a lot of tweaks to her house, though. They said she has a lot of things that she's adding
Yeah.
to
See,
the
like
house.
so like I'm gonna be going so far as to like building my own concrete forms for
Yeah.
like concrete.
Foundation.
Well, yeah, the concrete foundation, but my own concrete countertops and shit. Because for like, especially if you make it in like chunks that are like basically the same size, then you can use concrete and fucking fill it in so that it's all one solid piece, and then sand that down and
Glaze it up.
glaze it up. Yeah, it'll be.
Beautiful.
Or just put that like countertop shit on it.
Yeah, man. I mean,
Wow.
you got to take care of the stuff, but whatever, it's cheap, right? For a big piece of.
I wouldn't want concrete.
I love me a
kitchen.
good marble countertop. It has to be black though.
Granite.
Ooh, granite. Yes. Granite's a good one.
My mom got me on the granite countertop. That's what it was in the trailer.
Yeah. See, that's the other option that I'm considering, but then I don't get. Much
I've heard so many horror stories about that place that builds trailers in town, that place on the res or whatever. I've seen like people who like basically the house is cheap, like on Arrested Development when they're living at a show home, and it's just like
Everything's falling
particle
apart.
board everything, and it's just like everything was falling apart.
That's why it's so cheap. That's why I'm not going with them. I'm gonna build it myself because, like, I got 10 years construction. I can build most of it, and if you give me a
just
plan,
get somebody to come in and like do a once over and make sure it's up to par.
yeah, right. And I got buddies who are carpenters who will come and fucking help out.
Yeah.
They don't really care.
But this is also with like, I think she said she has like 9 feet between the people beside them, and she has about 30 feet back
Yeah,
for a yard.
yeah. And you're
So
also
she has like
looking
a good
at
space.
you're also looking at about like another 7, maybe 600 more square feet than what I'm gonna have, right?
Yeah.
Like I'm having 13. It's gonna be a 3-bedroom, but it's gonna be like 1350 square feet plus whatever the butcher room and walk-through freezer is.
Did you decide where exactly you're gonna have this? Is it gonna be like outside of Canada?
Yeah. Yeah.
Go play some like Heffley or something.
That's what I'm thinking. Like
It'd be
Heffley.
cheap.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I can get a decent plot of like flat land, because I want to put greenhouses on it that are like solar powered and insulated and heated and shit like that.
Well,
so-
even if you have like a slope or whatever, you can do it in tiers.
That's true. See, that's really true.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, even still, like, I want to build like a greenhouse so that it's like year-round growing food,
Yeah.
and then I can sell that, grow a bunch of trees, have it. Tesla's coming out with a solar roof, so it's like we're getting
Yeah, Kamloops gets a lot of sun, so that would be
a
good.
lot of sun. sun,
Yeah.
even in the winter,
Yeah.
right? So
Well, even on the overcast days, you still get sunlight through.
right, so like year round, and like Tesla's batteries, they're good for like 3 days.
I want to know exactly when we are getting our solar panel roads.
Never.
No, they'll come. They'll come because they're gonna start taking like.
They said TRU was going to be ground zero.
Well, there you go. And realistically, if you think about that, like over time, because like how long did it take for the roads that we have now, like the freeways and shit?
For a long time.
Like a long time
Yeah.
to build. Like that's a lot of stretching. It's all good to be like, oh yeah, I want my freaking so, but like
Well, they
somebody's
said-
got to put that in.
Well, yeah, they said they were put it in. They
It'll
said,
create
yeah,
jobs.
it will create
Yeah.
jobs.
And people
'Cause
to
they said
maintain
that,
them, so we can take jobs away from like that could be oil field, get them jobs in solar panel repair.
Yeah.
there was just like a test though to see if it can even work. So
I
they're
think it
they're
could.
basically only doing like a small section. to test it
Concrete
out.
sees so much sunlight in a year. If humans could utilize just even a tiny fraction of pavement
Yeah.
for like solar panel stuff, or even like their fucking people's roofs, man.
Right?
Like,
Like,
what
why
else are you doing
every-
up there?
Like, why does every single roof have to be like? It should be some sort of photovoltaic. Like, you should be collecting energy off of that. It can be done. We know it can be done. Every roof should be that.
There's a country out there that does have basically most of their shit is run by. So I think it's in Italy.
No, isn't it like Saudi Arabia has a shitload?
No.
No,
Something, somewhere in the
no.
desert.
This is like a small little village, not a small village, but like a town that basically just runs on solar power.
Well, good, man. And like that's the thing. It's like, especially with places with technologies like Tesla, and you don't even need Tesla to really do it. Like you could do solar panels and
Yeah.
all that, and like that's worth it to me. Like no matter what, I'm going solar energy, and I'm gonna
Oh,
go
yeah.
above and beyond, and I'm gonna power heaters in my greenhouses, and like
See, we need to start. We need more renewable resources.
yeah,
We need to get off this oil train and fucking.
Oil
Big
ha-
oil needs to fucking cry me a goddamn river. Cause
I don't want to subsidize it.
I'm over
There's
it.
better technologies. I don't want
We can
Canada
get. I know it's
subsidizing.
like it's a lot of work. It's a lot of jobs for people, but we could have that in
Invest it in
renewable
other
stuff.
companies, man. Because
And-
here's the thing: if we're subsidizing oil, then let's take it from that, which the global market for oil is not going up, from what I've seen. So
It's not getting any better.
it's not going to get any better. So invest into like solar, which is working. I mean, I'm sure that lithium sites are pretty bad for the environment.
You gotta take a hit somewhere.
Yeah, I'm willing to acknowledge that there's got to be a cost somewhere. There's a lot of dead birds. So
They've been developing different wind turbines that don't kill. They don't have blades. They don't
Yeah.
have blades. There's one. It was like this weird thing that
yeah, it like kind of does this.
it had this weird like, and it just like rotated
Wire?
like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, eliminates the need for
Mm-hmm.
and having you put like turbines in the water
Yeah.
without fucking making it so fish get fucked over.
Ideally, if I live on a piece of property that has water running through it, I would want water going
Get like a
through it.
one of the
Get a water turbine going,
Yeah.
so that have that power.
one of
My
those big water wheels.
yeah, and
Plus
then
those things look cool,
fuck yeah,
like in the old school mills.
right. So like you get like the water wheel going, you power your place like that, and then you get solar, and then you get like a couple of wind turbines. So it's like it's super shitty weather for like a couple days.
Geothermal heating.
Yeah, you
Just drill.
drill a hole down. And I would like to get as close to off grid as possible.
Yeah, well, you still have to like leave it connected because I think it's so stupid how they like will not let you live off grid. Like if you take yourself off the grid and like it's illegal to have somewhere that has no access to.
Is
Like-
it? I don't think it is because
Maybe it's in the States. But
there's
I'm pretty
there's some
sure-
places in the States, but I don't believe that's the case in Canada.
I hope not, because I can't remember
And
where
you know,
it was.
you know
But
what?
they were like talking about living off the grid and like how people were getting in trouble because they like.
Man,
weren't
if they
connected.
tried to give me crap for that, I would sue the government over that. Like that, like no, because
Are you telling me Amish people are still connected to the government? Like they still have a SIM
Well,
card?
that's probably different because it's religious and
Beliefs.
cultural.
but
But
we,
for the average,
we have the power now to like make ourselves entirely independent. And why the freaking every apartment building doesn't have they have solar panel windows, for Christ's sake. Replace all the windows in all the skyscrapers with the solar panels. You could power all of like every city.
Yeah.
Without any freaking oil, without any, like, you can power an entire city. They got some.
Did Germany do a bunch of like solar shit?
I think so.
I think the government ended up like paying everybody like $30 or something.
China.
By the time their like clean energy programs were implemented, I'm pretty sure it was Germany.
Like, I'm really not down with the whole authoritarian thing of the Chinese government, but one thing I will give them credit for is they're like, yeah, no, we got to go to solar, like, because they got the air pollution problem.
Oh
right?
yeah.
So they're just like, no, this is what we're doing now. Like
it or get out.
You're done.
Yeah.
So I mean, in a way, I'm kind of like, yeah, no, that's cool. But
there's some pros to China, a lot of cons, but
yeah,
everything's made in China.
Yeah,
that's the thing. We gotta stop shipping all our shit overseas to be made.
I agree.
That would like stabilize so much of our own economy. Yeah, things would be more expensive, but everybody would have a job. Everybody would have a job because there'd be so much work.
Well, localized economies are definitely stronger. Because if you're
everything scales.
My theory is if you are, the more able you are to do, the more people are able to do more things by themselves, the stronger that community becomes, right? Because if everyone's self-sufficient, then when they're coming together on projects, it's like, yeah, I can build all of this stuff, and you can do all of this stuff, and you can do all of this stuff. So it's why I'm all about the individual, man.
Mm-hmm.
Not down with this whole group thing, PC culture thing, because it's.
Some people can establish it. I'm going to go back to the Amish people, okay, because they're very self-efficient.
Right?
They are so self-efficient.
Right?
Because they're such a small community, and they all have roles in this community that basically makes it so that they never have to prosper any higher than anybody else. And they basically, like, everybody
just gets what...
Everybody gets what they work
what
for.
You need.
What you
frankly,
need.
Frankly, the Amish
stuff.
is like...
And they're happy. They're happy with it. They have a whole peace. They're at peace with everything that is happening.
I'll be right back. I have pee, so just, stop.
I'm the ghost. That's not in the frame. I know. Embarrassing. How dare you?
That's okay. All of us camera sees is like the most unattractive part of me. It's just my double chin.
Now everybody sees it. He probably has thousands of viewers.
Oh God, no.
Can you imagine?
I got this cool shirt though, guys. Oh, it's like, there we go.
That's a cat. You didn't know. It's a T-Rex.
Hungry.
I told you, man, I was gonna get food.
Did you hear that Louis C.K. is a pervert?
Who? Oh yeah.
I don't.
He apologized, I guess.
I know.
And it seemed like a pretty okay. I mean, it doesn't take away from what he did, but
Here's my question though. So from what I've heard is that he asked first and they didn't say no.
so he took that as a yes. I guess.
Maybe maybe they didn't say. I don't know if they didn't say yes or if they did say yes but just felt pressured because it's.
He's a person of power.
Yeah, and here's my other question.
And that's what he's.
When you reach a certain level of power, does that just mean you're never allowed to have sex again?
Well, no, but it's like.
Well, so say a bare naked ladies has a fan, and one of the members hooks up with the fan. And he's obviously one of the members in the band would obviously have to be a person of power, given that they're fucking of their status and stuff. Because that's kind of the whole thing that was with Harvey Weinstein and shit. Ish. So does that mean when you reach a certain level of power, do you get to?
How old was the chick?
They're the same.
There's a couple
Close
of different
age.
instances.
Yeah, it was women he worked with.
I think it's
Oh.
just people need to learn how to read the situation a bit better.
Yeah.
Like,
You should
I've been in
use your
situations
words.
where I've been pressured and it's like, I'm too, like, I felt uncomfortable saying no, and it's like, if you would have, like, actually looked at me, you would have seen I was uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But at the same time, too, like, I didn't say
'Cause,
no,
like-
so it's like...
Because, like... So here's my... So they're calling him a perv because, like, he was asking... He was asking first. But the general trend of conversation so far has been, like, you need to ask.
Yeah.
Right? So if you ask, and then it's like, well, he's a person in power. Well, it's like, does that mean he's just not allowed to...
People need to learn how to say
like,
no, but at
Right?
the same
Well,
time,
maybe,
if they're not
maybe
saying
that's,
yes...
Maybe that's a big part of it, too, is that, like...
Yeah.
It's not that he shouldn't have sex, it's that he needs to make sure he gets consent. And if
But how can you say, like... How can you know you're getting
so
consent?
then so then she didn't say no, and did they proceed to go on with the act?
Because if she didn't say yes,
Then
if she didn't say anything,
then that's
and
not a
saying
yes.
Saying nothing isn't a yes. It's
Yeah.
not a no, but it's not
Well,
a yes.
yeah, that's a
Yeah.
fair point. That's a fair point for sure.
So if they
so-
didn't end up hooking up, then it's just like he's not a pervert. He just got shot down.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
He's not a pervert. He just got shot down, and she was probably nervous because he was a guy of power, and sometimes it
Celebrity.
is very intimidating
Yeah.
for people. And like,
If you're not sure,
depending
though,
on
like
the
if,
situation,
like if you're
Yeah.
not sure if that person is able to consent or not, maybe just don't.
Well,
Yeah.
Find somebody
here's-
that can, because there will
but
be somebody
here's
that.
here's the thoughts though, right? Like, cause like I was reading this article in the New York Times where guys are no longer like they're hesitant or scared or starting to just not talk to women in the workplace and out in public and stuff like that, just on the basis of like I don't know what's gonna get me
Yeah.
fired kind of thing, right? And like in a way it's kind of true because like being told in one sense that you want to be treated like equals, which fair enough,
Yeah.
fucking A. But then like if guys think that, okay, you think the way that I do, like you'd be down with this might be fun. I mean, I'm not saying that.
you know what it is. You know what it is. Is guys were shitty a long time ago, but
were
those
they,
guys
though?
aren't there anymore.
Well,
Now it's
There's
just
still some are, but
but
it's not
still
exclusive
some are.
to just
And
guys.
now
People are
there's
just shitty.
now there's something being done about it, and guys are now starting to take it as they're being attacked, and now they feel like they're the victims.
No,
It
it's
sounds like it's like a role reversal.
no because
is what's going
because
on.
the issue that I'm having is like the conversation of how do we engage in like men want sex, we just do, and I've been told that women want sex.
There's like
Right,
10
like-
steps to get there, though.
There's
Right.
emotional steps to get
For
there
sure,
first.
for sure, but here's the thing. If we're told that women are down with casual sex, which is something that we're down with, and so how do we engage in that conversation without getting accused of sexual harassment?
Just be
Right?
cool.
Or are we able? Or is that a conversation that shouldn't be had? And then, as a culture, should we then say
Well,
like,
there's
okay,
a
maybe
couple
we
of
should
different-
reserve this for relationships, right?
There's a
'Cause-
couple of different steps to that, though. Like, for example, some people don't stop. I've been hit on or had, like, just been, like, not necessarily harassed, but people that just won't take no for an answer. And I've said no, and I've said no, and I've said no, and they're still trying. Fuck
well,
off.
that's-
But people just
Yeah, that's
gotta learn
harassment.
how to communicate better. You gotta, like, I can vocalize myself, or,
Yeah.
like, watch body language. Like, I know
For sure.
people
For-
ever... It's
for
hard to
sure.
read people, but, like...
it's
There are people, because I know men that are emotional and I
Yeah.
want to wait for marriage and blah blah blah, and I know girls that want to just go out and like, here we go, open
Yeah.
my legs for the whole world. Like, it's whatever. Everybody's different.
Yeah.
I think the biggest focus is people need to stop focusing on gender roles.
Yeah.
That's what's killing us.
it's the identity politics.
Yes.
It's the
Because
whatever
you're a dude,
group
you have
you're
to
in.
like sex, and you have to, and I'm a girl, and I gotta like pink, and you know, like, that shouldn't matter. If we took away all that part and started looking this as all of us are humans and not trying to
Well,
categorize each
here's
other.
here's the problem with that though. Is in the places where they've done the most to level the playing field for men and women, they're finding the most examples of those traditional gender roles just occurring naturally, not because like
Yeah,
this.
but like, because
Right,
people
so
put so much emphasis on those. It's fine to have those roles. It's fine to be masculine. It's fine to be feminine. It's fine to be a female that is masculine. It's fine to be a male that's feminine. It's just like we gotta stop saying you're a man. You have to be manly. I'm a woman. I have to be womanly.
Well, I mean, I don't know if you.
You can be manly. You can do whatever you.
I don't know
want.
I don't know if you've heard lately, but masculinity is toxic.
Everything's toxic. Humans are toxic. We're all shitty.
You know,
we all need to burn.
I disagree though. In my opinion, like, well, from what I've been able to see, it's like good and evil is right down the middle of people, right? Like we can be either or. We can be absolute assholes to each other, or we can be absolute fucking angels to each other, which is a lot harder for some reason.
No, you know what the problem is? There's too many of us.
No.
Yeah, no, honestly, there's too many of us. There's so many people that everybody has their way of thinking, and because they have their way of thinking, they put it out there, and everybody puts out the way that they think. Then you have people like us trying to gather what everybody's trying to say and what everybody thinks, try to feel what we want to feel, and then put it back out there.
Well,
and it's just basically people just talking back and forth, to the point where fights start to happen. People start to be like, oh, you're a woman and I'm a man and blah, 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 blah. Like, you shouldn't have any rights and I should have all the rights. And like,
I wonder, though, if
people are just freaking out.
necessarily... Because, like, we've recently... I mean, for one, we're in the least conflict... Like, least amount of global conflict.
And I would like to mention that the world cannot actually sustain 7 billion people comfortably.
That's actually been proven to be
We can,
incorrect.
but we're not doing it right.
We're not doing it
no, we're not. But here's the thing. It's like, you can actually start to layer, like, buildings and stuff. But you're talking like when we're able to start like actually reshape planets and shit into like it would have to be a cube with lots of vents. Like it'd basically be one big machine.
Mm-hmm.
But
I don't know. It's just things like the meat industry and like.
There's just too many. There's just too many farmings that is going on. There's not enough animals. Animals are basically being killed off because humans, like I said, they're thinking the way that they want to think, and they're going out and they're doing stuff.
Because like there's laws and like
people don't follow the laws.
Oh, but here's the thing. You know what though? That shit, especially in BC, that doesn't fly anymore because there's actually a huge amount of rewards that you can get for catching poachers and shit. And they even got an app where you can like hit the app, drive by, click on their thing, license plate, take a picture, it sends it to the wildlife care. I can't remember the name of the government office, but like the people who actually like take care of like poachers, polluters, stuff like that. It sends it to them. You get a reward, and you never have to testify because you just take a picture and it sends the GPS and everything right to them.
Yeah. You talk about conservation officers?
Yeah, but like the people that they work for.
Pretty sure it's like not WWE, but
no, it's like I have it on a book upstairs.
Yeah.
Oh man, I am like $100 away from getting my PAL and stuff. I have a rifle that I've paid for that I'm waiting for in Alberta. It's a nice 270. It's gonna go bang, and then the thing's gonna go, and then I'm gonna eat it.
As long as you eat it, eat it.
I'm gonna eat it. And
I don't mind hunting.
Jackets for myself and the boys.
What are you gonna kill?
I mean, I come from a long line of rednecks, so like I'll eat whatever.
Can I have the skull?
Sure.
Sweet.
Sure. I like. I'm gonna use the brain for tanning. I'm gonna make jackets out of it. Whatever. I'm probably gonna do a lot of deer and moose hunting. I'm a little iffy on the whole elk hunting idea because apparently the grizzlies down there have started.
Going after people hunting?
Well, what'll happen is like
you'll
shoot the elk. Yeah, they'll shoot the elk and then they'll run towards the gunfire because they know a fresh kill just happened there.
Fucking, they're becoming aware.
Fuck no.
They're becoming aware.
Dude, bears are such like.
I love bears.
Yeah, but here's the thing: they will fucking eat your face.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Like straight up,
without even a second thought. I still love bears.
Like here, like they're trying. They're kind of like we almost need to start hunting bears regularly because they actually pose a threat to most cities. There's coyotes in Kamloops. A woman died. I think it was last year. A couple people died and were attacked by coyotes in Kamloops. and nobody can defend themselves against those damn things. You know why? Because you're not allowed to have a gun or shoot a gun in freaking city.
You're an animal. You're an animal. Why not let them just attack you and eat you? It's about time that the humans not be so up there on the food chain that
Fuck
nothing
that.
can take us out.
Fuck
Well,
that.
and
We
That's
have
why there's so many of
We-
us, because
we-
we don't have a population control within the human race.
biologically, we have the right to be on top.
Like,
We have won the evolution game, and we will lose at some point because that's the nature of evolution. Things build up, build up, build up. We get the whatever it is that's on top gets the shit kicked out of it by something, and then something else takes its place.
What's gonna take place after us?
I don't fucking know. It could
because
be
the dinosaurs
bacteria.
were there, and then we
It
took
could be
over.
bacteria. It
Aliens.
could be I mean, it realistically, in
It could
order
be
for
all-
human beings to actually
anything.
sustain ourselves indefinitely, we have to go off world,
Oh yeah, for sure.
right? Which we're getting close. We're getting close. I might get to, well, I'm pretty sure I'm going to live forever because science is going to catch up. Big things on the horizon, let me tell you. But,
Do you think in our lifetime though?
Jesus
oh,
Christ, dude.
God, what?
No! No! Immortality is a crime against
No, it's gonna be
nature.
like Futurama. You're gonna be cryogenically frozen till they can help you. Then you'll come. Then we'll come out like that what episode with the guy from the 80s.
Oh, yeah.
Nanotechnology is actually starting to become a thing.
Nanotechnology kind of scares the crap out of me.
Right?
It's
Yeah.
really exciting, but it really scares me because I'm like, I don't want nanobots in my brain.
The good news
No.
is that,
No.
you know what though? I kind of would.
What if that shit malfunctioned
Yeah.
and fucking started eating your brain, or just like
Or what
drilled
if-
through your
Or what
brain,
if they
You
become
wouldn't feel it.
self-aware?
and then you're just like boom,
What
drop,
if they become
down.
self-aware and then
dead.
I get taken over by robots and you wouldn't know because
It's like
They're
I
nanobots
robots
in my
all
brain.
over again.
Yeah.
We'd shut you down. Be cool. At least it's a peaceful way to go. If they're just like, yeah, no. Because they're gonna want to. If they're taking over the body, they're gonna
Was it
want the
worth
path
it
of
then?
leaf.
Was it worth it? Was it worth it? Is
I'll
it worth
I'll
it?
stay half retarded, thanks.
Right? Like, no, I'm good. Thank you. I'm
Which is
fucking
weird
so
because
good
I'm
on
like,
that.
I love technology. I love my.
No, I'm more interested in like regenerative medicine and like replacing organs that like where they actually just take cells and like, okay, we're just gonna like rebuild you a new heart, and then we'll just replace that. Like that shit.
then it's gonna be
and they're like
That's so
3D
interesting.
printing hearts out of fucking. Like they're working on 3D printing organs
Yeah.
right now. So like, you rupture a spleen, they just put you a new one in.
Here I am over here. If I get taken over by cancer, I'm just gonna let it deteriorate my body and die.
Fuck that. I'm living forever.
No, I can't do it. No,
I don't want to live forever.
I don't want to live forever.
I kind of already want to die, so
Right?
when,
Like
when it's my
fucking-
time, I will.
Humans have
I
made it
take
so
it
hard
like
to
a
live
champ.
comfortably with the wages that we have to live.
You know
live
what?
with. The
We-
fact that we have to go back to school just to get like. a
But
good
you're the
job.
1%. Like we are all, even our homeless. The homeless in Canada are the 1% of the 1% of the 1%
More
in
privileged
human
than-
history,
Oh yeah.
right?
Oh,
Like
oh.
it has never been better for anyone in
No.
North America.
No.
Richer. I mean, I'm sure the Indian, like the natives, had it pretty good before like smallpox and shit. But
They did.
like,
They did.
like that being said, and even they were fighting amongst each other all of a sudden. The different nations, you know, you come into another person.
I don't give a shit. It's tiring being a human. It's tiring.
But here's the
It's
thing.
exhausting.
Yeah, life is suffering. You just
It
get
is.
accept that part of it, and it becomes
then I just
awesome.
wanna
That's
die.
the weird caveat.
That's
It's
it.
like-
I'm
Through
gonna.
the time I don't feel like I'm suffering.
Right? I just wanna be involved in like a show and just like nature.
I like to just create.
I
I
want
want
moments.
David Attenborough to narrate my life.
Narrate.
Yeah,
Want him to narrate.
yeah. I am the next BBC documentary. Planet Britney.
Should go to England and film that. Riding on a double-decker bus. Woo! That would be fun.
I've done that.
Double-decker bus.
I think it was in Vancouver.
Kelowna.
Might have been.
Edmonton.
Kelowna's got them.
Might have been Kelowna because I've lived in Kelowna. Kelowna's actually a pretty sweet city. For all that, like Kamloops seems to like rage against it.
It's rivalry.
Yeah, because like I like going there.
I like going there.
I actually wouldn't mind living there, to be totally honest. with
Hotel
you.
Z is awesome. That's a sweet hotel. Very colorful.
I think I might be down with moving to Kelowna. That would be a sweet.
A little bit more opportunity than Kamloops.
Ah, the world was my playpen. And you know what? Here's the thing too. It's like, because that's the same thing that I thought when I first moved back here. When I first moved back from Edmonton. Yeah, man. I was like, there's nothing here.
There is. You just gotta look.
You gotta look, and then once you find that, the world opens up for you.
You also need to have a vehicle.
Yes, that is one thing you need in Kamloops.
Sad. And they call themselves a city.
Right?
Funny.
Well, it's like a city that could. It's like the little city that could.
It's trying.
I think it can. I think it can. I think it can.
Woohoo!
There's a bomb threat at the TRU.
Nah, we're getting violence like cities,
We are.
right? Like,
Just-
how many
what
shootings?
happened? What happened? Like, I wonder what triggered it. It was just like if something exploded. I mean, obviously, a lot of it.
I think a gang's coming up.
Oh yeah, for sure. But it's like, what? Why Kamloops? Leave my town alone.
Well,
There's
here's the
nothing
thing:
here.
is Kamloops is
It's central
it's central. It's
a hub.
it's a
You can-
travel hub. You can't go anywhere in BC
without
quickly without going through Kamloops.
Yeah. Well,
Right.
it depends on where you're going, but
Yeah.
it's really hard for me to ship freight in and out of Kamloops, to be honest.
Yeah.
The trucking industry, Kamloops kind of out of the way. Depends on where you're going. Going Vancouver to Calgary, you're going through Kamloops. But
Yeah.
if you're going like Vancouver to Edmonton,
You
Or
still got to go through Kamloops.
maybe, yeah. But if
It's
you're
gonna
like
be
Prince
fa-
George, it'll take a canyon and go up the other way. A lot of
Yeah,
people go
Prince
that way.
George.
Or they go down through Kelowna and that way.
I really enjoy visiting Vancouver, though. I
Me
love
too.
that city. I would never live there.
No, fuck no.
I would never
That's
live
way
there.
too expensive.
Way too
Oh,
expensive.
God.
I mean, like, at
it
one point I
depends if
really
you- depends
did.
On, yeah, it depends on where you live.
Yeah.
My sister lives there, and she's got like, she lived in Surrey, and she had like a 2-bedroom basement. So it was kind
I
of
offered
small.
you a beer, did I not?
Yeah, I'm actually good because eventually
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to drive home.
It's getting pretty
Yeah.
not late,
Well,
but
Then
I work in the morning.
safe
Woohoo.
driving and stuff. I got the boys tomorrow. Yeah, we moved the schedule back one day.
How's that been
Yeah.
going?
Oh, it's good, man. Peace. She does her thing. I do my thing. We just
Meet in the middle.
we meet when we trade the kids, and then discuss anything that has to do with the kids. Outside of that, we don't talk.
That's good. Sounds like that's probably the best way for that
That- yeah.
relationship to go.
Yeah, you know what? It would have been nice to be able to have like the good kind of relationship, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
Civil, you can't ask for anything better than that, really.
Yeah.
Like, beggars can't be choosers at that point.
Yeah,
You've been
it's-
uncivil, so it's
yeah. The fighting, we're good. We're good.
got
Neither-
over it.
I totally understand that, though. You wish to have that, like, a different relationship with that person. You're like, I just wish.
Oh man, like that's something that never goes away. You're just like, if only.
If we could have been
Yeah,
so
like,
good.
Like there's always gonna be that part of me that's just like, please.
And you know what? I had this really weird thing. One of my exes just got engaged, and I
Yeah.
saw it on Facebook, and I was like, I'm like super happy for him, and it was like a long time ago, so I'm like not in any way like, but I just like was thinking like, what if I had stayed with him? Would that have been? Would that
future?
like would we have been engaged right now? Would that have been me? I was like, that's so weird.
Well, if it was so long ago, you probably would be married by now.
Maybe not.
Possibly.
But I was
Depending
just
on
like-
how long he's been
I
with
was
this
just
one.
like, yeah, well, it was a couple of years, and I was like, wow, it was just so weird.
Could have been you.
But they seem really happy, so I'm like really happy for them.
Yeah,
But I'm
yeah.
like,
Do you
then
have
I'm
any, like, residual feelings left?
No,
over?
I like it didn't. I was like not bothered by it at all. I was just like, huh, just kind of like made me think, and then I was like, I'm getting old.
The ones that suck are the ones that you still have feelings for when you see them get engaged. It's just like, oh, my heart.
Oh no, it definitely wasn't like that. I'm really happy for him. He's a good guy. No, we were not. It was just not
Yeah.
for me. So
Well, at least he's happy now.
yeah,
Engaged.
yeah.
Good for him.
I felt bad after we broke up for a while, so I was like, kind of glad he eventually got a girlfriend, and I'm like, I'm off the hook.
Yeah.
I don't have to feel bad anymore. So super nice guy. It just wasn't for me.
Mm-hmm. I respect that.
For sure. Yeah, no, it's dating's weird, man. Dating is.
I hate it.
It's so hard.
I hate it
Oh,
so
God,
much.
it's-
I hate it. I just want to be like, I just want to like skip all like the awkward, annoying shit, and I just want to be like in it.
That's what my
Yeah.
But then I'm
friend
like,
did.
at the same time, I'm like, it takes a long time for me to like get to that point.
Not
with
only that,
somebody,
like-
and like I
like-
have huge issues that are like me that it's not fair for me to project onto.
Yeah.
Some people just don't care. Like my one friend, literally, when she got with her boyfriend now, she literally was just like,
moved in.
Right off the bat, she was just like, just so you know, I'm crazy, I'm this, I'm that, I'm like blah 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 blah. She just like laid all of her shit out, and it was just like, take it or leave it. She's like, I don't have time. She's like, I don't have time to dick around.
That's kind of where I'm almost at. I'm like,
and he was just like, you know what? He's just like, I really love you, and he's just like, I'm gonna take this all. We're gonna work on it.
Yeah. Together. For me, it's I don't know. Like, I think I've been going on a couple dates lately. I think.
Good job.
Good job.
I don't know. We went out for dinner. Dating is just weird. Like it's funny because you know me years ago, just with everyone. Like if I could get in there, woo, it's go time. But now, like
I don't remember you were like you had a goal for like a number.
Yeah.
And you knew your number, and you would tell me your number every time it updated.
Yeah, like I was a little
Did
dirty.
we reach that number?
A couple times over.
Oh.
I'm sure.
I remember in high school when you were at like 49
or
something ridiculous.
It was ridiculous. Like
I
anyone who would have me, it was.
Did you get a name for that in high school?
Yeah.
A lot of people don't like Kyle.
Yeah, like that shit followed me right out of high school. I mean, it doesn't affect me now because like I don't know anybody from high school other than Brittany and like a few people who are like, no, you're good shit. But yeah, no,
I'm not gonna lie. When I first when she was just like, oh yeah, Kyle Cavanaugh lives down the way. I was just like,
prep people.
I was like, oh, are you what? And she's like, yeah. I was just like, I only have actually like one memory of Kyle, and it's not that good.
Yeah, no, I was.
It involved Kayla. So.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Yeah, no, I just wasn't a particularly nice person back then. Grew up a lot. More so after I had kids.
That's
well,
good
yeah,
I mean, I grew up after my dad died a lot too.
That usually does it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
But yeah, no, I was definitely an a-hole.
But you're a better person now.
Yeah. Now I'm just like I just want to get married. I just want to find one person, and like that's just like you're my rock. Like we'll get married, and that's it. Like there's no leaving this. This is it.
Yeah.
See, for me, I spent a lot of my younger years feeling inadequate, and I was always searching, and I was just so desperate to like be loved by somebody, and it really was only probably like after my last breakup, last two people that I dated actually got together with, and it was after that I was like, I'm done. I washed my hands of the dating scene, and I've been so much happier.
That was a big part of and yeah, no, I get what you're saying about the whole.
I just I've even tried dating since, and I can't. I'm not willing to give up my independence. I am not willing to share myself and my personal time with somebody, and it's I'll get there maybe eventually, but right now it's
finding that perfect partner that actually has
the
same views.
I don't think it is
somebody that I can tolerate.
You have
somebody that can breathe in the same space as me, and I don't get mad about it. Because I hate people breathing my air. People let's cuddle, and I'm like, no. I don't want to breathe the air that you're breathing. I don't want to breathe recycled air.
Yeah, I mean, it's all recycled air.
Yeah, no, but I mean, I don't want to be right beside you, and when you're exhaling, I'm inhaling.
See,
and
that's actually
I'm
something I
exhaling
enjoy.
And you're inhaling, and that's I literally
It's funny.
I can't do it.
It's funny. Some of the best memories that I have are
breathing heavy in someone's.
Well, no, it was when I was with my kid's mom, and friggin' I'd come home after a 12-hour day of roofing in minus fucking 10, minus 20, getting into the brutal temperatures, and then we'd be watching a movie and you'd just be laying my head on her lap and then pass out. Fondest memory. She hated me for it. She's like, you always pass out. And after we broke up, I was like, yeah, that was when I felt the most connected to you.
See, it's weird because I do like to cuddle, but I just it's the breathing thing, and you gotta be there's been two people that I've been okay with breathing my air.
Yeah.
At that point it's I don't care, I can be in your face,
yeah.
And it doesn't bother me even a little, not even a little bit, but there's only been two people.
Yeah, well, Yeah, no, I get that. Like the whole promiscuity thing when I was younger was strictly for just like wanting somebody
To feel needed.
yeah, to feel needed. You know, like at one point in my life, the only thing I felt good for was, you know, I felt like a walking, talking dildo. That was my value in the world.
That was what you were here for?
You were like the porn star that was never filmed.
Yeah, like it was just like that's the only thing that people will actually want to have me around for, and I mean a lot of that was my doing because I was not particularly.
Oh, the adolescent years. The stupid decisions you made.
Stupid shit that you do, and we're still doing now.
Oh my god, I just want it to end. So bad. I was such a shit in high school. I was such a shit. All the way up until...
I was just sad all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, I still am, but like...
As soon as I turned 19, bar star.
You know,
oh.
it is amazing though, like, the one thing that came out of, like, the custody battle and the fighting for the kids thing was, like, this really strong sense of, like, me. Like, that was... And I didn't have that until after, because that was, like, when I just started looking at, like, everything that was going on in my life. I was like, hey, that's got to go. That's got to go. That's got to go. All right, no, that's got to go. That's not working. Right? And it was just like this entire restructuring of myself that, like...
Fucking raking that shit.
So, like, as a direct result of that, now, like, I have this very strong sense of, like, who I... And, like, there's a lot of ways that I'm a piece of shit, for sure. But...
We're all pieces of shit floating in the toilet bowl of life.
Right? There you go. It's just constant existential suffering. But, you know, like... Out of all of that chaos and fighting and conflict, I get this really sharpened sense of, like, there's good there. You know, and it's... That was something that drastically changed my whole... Just everything. Actually, that whole relationship did. So, as much as...
You learn from them. Relationships are just learning curves.
Oh, yeah. Well, I was like, I had a buddy come over. He cheated on his girlfriend, and now she wants an open relationship so that she just... Right? And
that's a good compromise.
He's like, oh, she's fucking mad and hurt and shit. And, like, he's like, comes over and he's all talking about all the shit she's done. And I'm like, you're the one who fucking cheated. Like,
right?
She could have done a whole bunch of things better. But here's the thing, man. You made your choices too, man. And you can't blame her for your decisions. No. You can decide to do shit or you can decide not to do shit. You can decide to do
other shit. An eye for an eye makes the world blind.
Right? Exactly. And, like, I'm one of those people where, like, I believe in absolute personal responsibility. Mm-hmm. In my mind, everything I do matters and is going... If things go wrong around me in my life, it is a direct result of my stupidity.
I just don't understand people when they just like, oh, well, they were doing this and that and this to me and they were so horrible and they yell at me and abuse me, so I slept with somebody else, and it's just like... If you were that unhappy with your relationship, why didn't you just leave?
Well, I mean, there's Stockholm Syndrome. That's a thing. Where you start to identify with your captors or your abusers, but...
It's brutal. It's brutal that
well,
it's
just
not
the case, and that's not as common as...
No.
That's not the case for most of the time.
People just do stupid things.
I don't know, man. Like, my ex and I, we fought on a pretty regular basis. And, like, I spent probably a good 6 months going, like, I can't handle this woman. Like,
why'd you stay?
In a big part because of the young one, Jeremy.
It's mostly what it is, actually. A lot of bad relationships, so usually they're staying because of the kids.
Yeah, but here's the other side, too. It's like, if you're going to stay because of the kids, like, the one thing that always drove me nuts about the ex was that, like, we would talk about going to couples counseling, and we went once. But then all the onus for improvement fell on me. And it was like, she was just like, well... I'm meditating. It's like,
okay.
It's like, yeah, I'm going to group therapy like 2 times a week. Freaking, like, you know, like talking to counselors. And realistically, like, we should be working our shit out too. And you like.
It takes 2 to tango.
Yeah.
Truth.
It absolutely does. I'm of the opinion that in it, like, you're in a relationship where your partner hits you the first time, and you stay, you've made that choice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's like jobs.
Which is not victim blaming, but it is... You need to accept your responsibility for your actions so that
there's always
you can change those.
I know people, like, sometimes people get scared, like, oh, he's gonna find me. Like, I helped a woman a couple years ago escaped an abusive relationship where her boyfriend like was physically abusing her, sexually abusing her, like everything. And she's an older lady, she's my mom's age. Yeah. And I put her up at my house for a couple of nights until she could get into the women's shelter, and just like watching her like unwind. And like the first thing she did when she got to my house, she panicked. Because she's like had her stuff, she had her bags, and she's at my house, and he didn't know where I lived or anything, so it was like, it was safe, you're fine here. And like it was just like, I watched her the panic, the look of sheer terror on her face, where she's like, I left him, I did it, and like she was like so scared.
Oh yeah.
And and then I had to hug her for like 15 minutes while she was like shaking, and I was like,
it's battered wife syndrome, man.
Yeah.
It's Stockholm syndrome.
Oh,
you're just either so terrified, or you start to identify with your captors. You're in this relationship that you've talked yourself into, which is another big problem. Like, you know, like my ex and I had a lot of issues, and like it was definitely went to both ways. I was not innocent in that relationship, but like part of it is after a while you talked yourself into the point where it's like, well, I can't leave now.
Yeah, well,
because I put so much into this.
It's like sometimes you gotta
cut the cord, right? And it's just, I always used to think that was like the birthing metaphor, but I think it has to do with mountain climbing, right? Because, you know, like if some things break and you got like, I don't know, it could have been movie magic. I think it was on Everest or something like that. Where it's like, this guy's like hanging there and their freaking anchors are starting to fall out and pull out of the mountain, so the guy cuts the rope.
Maybe we talk about vertical limit?
That's the one. High five. Yes.
Nice.
So I was just, as you were explaining it, I wasn't really paying attention. It was just like explaining it. It was just like,
that's what this is.
I know what you're
that was a good movie.
It was a crazy movie. It gave me a lot.
I don't know how often that happens. I can't imagine it's too much.
Mount Everest. Whew. The amount of dead bodies up there.
Like so many. At least 6.
At least so many.
At least so many. But that's like, I would never climb that mountain. Honestly, I wouldn't. I mean, like I would, maybe if I'm like 65.
I would. Although at this point, there's like trails going up because we just do it slow.
Yeah, but like you get to like a certain point, and like it just starts to get like really difficult. The terrain starts to get super rough.
And you lose oxygen.
And you start to lose oxygen. And there's like craters that like basically like go down into like caves and stuff that go like a really good stretch along the mountainside. And it's just like things like avalanches can just like happen like at fucking an instant of drop of
I want to like yell and cause an avalanche at least once.
Here's the thing.
Being a helicopter
about
when you do it.
Human accomplishment. People wonder, like, people are like, how did we become the apex predator? Because we literally threw human suffering at every fucking problem until we fixed it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right? Like, think about it. Like why?
Like using like a fucking like human cannon and just like launching.
Right?
Fucking.
Right? Like Everest. Some guy looked at that and was like, huh, I can't even see the top of that. And they just kept throwing people at that fucking thing. And so some guy planted that flag and was like, fuck yeah.
I did it, guys. I did it.
I'm the one.
Can you imagine tobogganing?
Down.
If it was just one slope, man.
It would be crazy.
If it was just like one smooth slope for like the whole trick, that would be one hell of a ride.
How much speed do you think you would catch by the time you got halfway down?
What if there's a jump at the bottom? How high do you think you'd go?
Depending. It's depending on how fast.
At least 6 feet.
Like how fast you're going down.
How high are you? 5 feet?
Watch, it's just a little like whoop, in the road, and it's just like boom.
Oh my god, that would be crazy.
That would hurt. You think
you'd probably go
like
so
the amount
fast.
of momentum you'd be going just for like a little boop.
It would hurt. You probably
like
just plow right through it.
Break your tailbone.
You probably just plow right through it. Just
going like Mach 17. Your nipples are still back on top.
Probably not even on that toboggan anymore. Let's be real here.
Yeah.
Going Mach 2.
Just like flies off. The wind just like lifts you up and you're just gone.
Did you ever see the video of the guy who
falls for 9 seconds?
No, he. Well, I've seen that, but I'm talking about the guy who tested like the most amount of G forces that a person can handle. It's like 45 G's.
Yes.
They strapped him to a plate on a wheel, on like train track wheels. And
yeah.
strapped the rocket to the back of this plate and just shot the fucking plane.
And he was just like,
his face is just like sucking back.
I've seen that experiment. That's
Like,
pretty wild.
Throwing human suffering at it. It's like, and the craziest part is it was a general who was like, I'm not just gonna order a guy to like one of my. I'll do it.
The dude that jumps out of a plane without a parachute.
Yeah, that guy into the net.
Into the net.
Oh yeah.
No fucking parachute. What if he missed that fucking net?
Well, we know what happens. Red mark on the ground.
Splat.
My leg times 1,000.
Oh, splat.
Yeah, freaking.
That would be
There's people who have
devastating.
survived that, man. Like, if you survive that, like at that point, it's like some guy goes pick. It's like, buddy, I fell out of like 2,300 feet and survived.
Like I'm a fucking
The fuck are you
miracle
gonna do?
walking. I'm God.
I fell out at 3,000 feet.
And survived.
Broke my leg. I blocked it off.
She did.
Yeah. No.
3 months later.
That's see, like, why would I jump out of a perfectly good airplane? That's the thing.
You know
like,
what's funny? That's what everybody says. That's
Yeah.
what everybody says.
Yeah.
Who would jump? It's always a perfectly fine or a perfectly good airplane. That is the phrase everybody
You know what?
says.
Everybody
Everybody says
the
that.
thing.
It's so funny.
Planes going down, the options are plane going into the mountain face or hop up. Okay, I guess I'm going for a ride.
Yep.
What's done is done. I'm in a bad situation.
That'll be literally the only time I'm going parachuting.
Like,
Is if the plane's going down.
yeah,
and they
plane's
have
going down.
parachutes.
Peace. You're like,
Yeah, I'm going
off
to the
I
back
go.
of that plane and I'm going to try to find a parachute. Everyone's panicking in their seats. Fuck you guys. Going parachuting.
Yeah.
I'm doing this shit. I'm opening this fucking door. Like, we're going to die anyways.
Yeah. Open the door.
Fucking get sucked out. Get sucked into the propeller.
That'd be me.
It's like, she died first.
Can you imagine looking over and watching a bird get sucked into a propeller while you're flying? I would be mortified.
Oh my god, I think I'd cry. I'm not gonna lie.
I would laugh so hard.
Except for you can't see the propeller from inside the plane.
So that's probably a good thing.
Yeah.
Man, I have the bladder of a 3-year-old child, I swear to God.
How drunk are you?
Not very.
How many beers have you had? So you're like falling.
He's just
Oh,
very
really?
excited about life,
Yeah.
apparently.
You know me, I'm always clumsy and stuff.
True that. True that. Yes, soon. I'm hungry.
Okay, there's a pizza rolled.
I know, I saw the dough and I was like, I might stop at Safeway quickly and grab some extra topping.
Yeah, because there's bacon, there's cheese, there's ham, there's no mushrooms.
That's just all I wanted, some mushrooms.
What time is Extra Foods open till? Because it is the holiday.
Safeway should be open till like
11?
Yeah. It's 9 o'clock now. It's 9.
9:01 to
9,
be
9,
exact.
9, 9, 9.
It's hella racist, man.
I keep getting Michelle with the.
Oh, fuck off. I was wondering what you were doing. I was like, what? What are you doing?
See, I'm glad that I can pee at such an obnoxious amount, and you guys just keep the thing going. At least I hope you did.
Yeah, well, I mean.
Otherwise,
we're talking about pizza now.
Now we're talking about.
Oh, pizza.
I just
That
made
sounds
pizza before we left home, and
so
her
good.
pizza's waiting in the fridge.
So it keeps saying that there's like one person watching, but like
Is it us?
I think it's us.
It's us. We're watching
Yes!
it.
We're watching ourselves.
It's wonderful.
But you have to go soon though, because I
Mhm.
didn't end up eating anything because I didn't know what I wanted.
I really want pizza now.
Bro, pizza's the way of life. Pizza is love. Pizza is love.
Right?
I will never get over pizza. I fucking honestly will never. It's an addiction.
There's got to be a way we can make pizza healthy.
There's no way.
Yeah, it totally is. You gotta use, for one, you use whole wheat crust, which is pretty good.
Whole wheat.
Whole wheat.
Whole wheat.
Whole wheat.
Actually,
Whole
they say whole wheat
Wheat?
isn't good for you because your body cannot digest grain very well.
Is that what
What?
they're saying now?
Yeah, well, okay, white bread's not good for you because the flour is bleached.
Yeah.
Whole grain is better for you because it's less processed. But it's still like it is kind of harder on you because it depends like on how much you eat. Like if you had just like one sandwich a day, you're fine. But like you get people that
basically just like
bread all the time.
It's not good for you.
It fucking sucks. I'm a gluten sensitive person now. I have gout, and now that means I've certain things, which is everything.
You know what stumps people every single time I tell them you have gout? They're just like, what the fuck is gout? And I'm like, it's an old person disease.
Old people disease.
I'm like, that's why not a lot of young people know what it is, because not a lot of young people
you don't get it till you're
it.
You don't usually get it till you're like old.
But you go to an old person and you're like, hey, I have gout, and they're just like, what the fuck, you're too young to have gout. And they're puzzled by it. Like, it's just an old person's disease. 25 years old, look at you.
Right?
My sister has it too.
Man, I got like aches and pains.
Oh my god, it runs in the family? That's brutal.
April's like, it's the drinking. I was like, fuck.
It's probably.
Yeah, well, I'm pretty much like just as heavy as an alcoholic as
drinking,
you are.
And I say this with beer in my hand, brought to you by Old Milwaukee. It's so bad for you.
It's the yeast.
So bad for you.
Oh god, I know.
It's the yeast.
Oh,
yeah, I'm not supposed to have beer like at all anymore.
Pizza is definitely gonna be a thing tonight. You just
inspired you.
Man, like you put the hunger in me.
I've been hungry for a while, like, and I'm just like.
Well, why don't we order a pizza?
Well, she's gotta work tomorrow.
I gotta work tomorrow morning. Got a long shift too. Still working for the man, bro. Like, fuck, this is.
I'm not gonna lie. Working for myself is amazing.
Yeah, man.
Like.
Yeah, if I was as talented as you, I would do that.
I just worked really hard to get good at something. That's all it came down to. I'm not. I have no fancy like dreams that or ideas that I'm gonna be rich and famous. I might be rich one day if I'm smart with my money, but like I don't think I'm gonna be famous. I like my stuff. I hope people like it and then buy it, and you know I get to play music indefinitely.
Yeah.
That would be sweet.
Honestly, like fucking good for you, bro.
But I like that I get like I make enough off of my gigging that like. I get to do things like build a tree fort and, you know, landscape the yard so that I can put some gardens in and, you know, like my landlords make it so that like they can turn around and charge, you know, an extra $150 for the next person.
Yeah.
Makes more money. The next person's going to enjoy the living shit out of it because that's a great yard. I'm proud of that thing. I worked hard at it. The tree fort's pretty sweet.
And I'm very sad that we didn't get to experience it because it's nighttime.
Well, you'll have to come back during the day.
That will be
or
a
in
thing.
the summertime when night doesn't exist.
Yeah.
I like perpetual darkness.
Me too. You know what? Honestly, if they like made this into a suite.
They could too.
Oh, they so could.
They could too.
They
like this would be
so
such
could.
a good. This would be such a good suite.
I mean, they can't because you need windows to escape.
Yeah.
That's
it would be
great.
like a dungeon down here.
Yeah, well, legally you need to have some windows. But you can put a couple windows right there. Good to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, but those windows are just to the stairs.
Yeah, that's all you need.
Yeah, I guess.
I'm totally asking my landlords if I can have that sink. The metal one.
Yeah.
Right there.
I thought it was a foosball table when I first saw it. And then
Yeah.
I saw the spout and I was just like, I was deceived.
This is pretty sweet. Yeah, man. Well, because I'm building the house in the next year. Too. Like, I would much rather have a sink like that. It'd be awesome. That and like a dishwasher.
Right down. I love using little overhang.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I just like.
It's so
Satisfying.
easy.
It's just fun.
It's so
yeah,
easy
it's
and
satisfying.
Satisfying.
You just had a rack and just like laid everything just.
I was a dishwasher
everything
for
down.
like probably a good year and a half, and like
Honestly,
I actually dug that job when it was just a job that was just making me money and I didn't have any responsibilities or career goals. Like
it was dope. Honestly,
Yeah.
like working as like a cook, we'd have to go into the dish pit every once in a while.
and
it was great. I loved being in the dish pit because it was quiet, listening to music, and you just like spray
People
down
have
shit.
to respect you because
Yeah.
if you don't, then you're not gonna clean their shit.
Exactly. And just
Well-
like spray everything down and like they're like seeing all the dirt getting sprayed off with this intense fucking stream. It's like motherfuckers. Like got you. Don't have to fucking scrub shit. Just
Yeah,
gotta
man.
put shit away. That's it. That's all.
when I'm old and retired and like not too arthritic to play guitar and
Yeah.
stuff, totally gonna go back as a dishwasher. Be just that old sagely dude who's like lives some shit.
It's So this was one dude
Tells
who was
all the
like,
younglings.
I mean, that's if commies don't kill us first, but.
yeah. Or nuclear bombs.
I frankly, in North America, I'm more worried about the rise of left-wing authoritarianism than I am about nuclear explosion. Because quite frankly, nuclear death doesn't sound that bad,
I think that'd be quick.
right? Like,
Instantaneous.
done.
Yeah.
Like, 1 minute you're there, the next minute you're just not.
Can you imagine if that just was the case like right now? Just all of a sudden we were just like talking. We're just
Gone. Gone. It'd be on live on the YouTube.
Just incinerated just like that.
Yeah, we'd be in the news tomorrow.
Yeah,
Well, tonight, maybe.
possibly. Depending on how big this nuke is.
Yeah. Like,
Except
How
for
far?
what if nobody ever found the video or saw it?
it's live feeding.
I know, but nobody's watching.
So where does it
So
go?
how-
There's
how-
one person watching. I mean, it could be us.
Didn't we conclude that it was?
What?
Didn't we conclude?
But does it count because you're on your own?
Is it being saved somewhere?
Yeah,
Where
it's
is this-
being saved to YouTube.
It's
So-
like my streaming.
So the second that it stops, it's just like it's on
It
YouTube.
processes
Yeah.
and then it
Processes.
stops. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dope
So, yeah, I just figured I'd, like, film myself talking about shit with people. And, like, maybe I can get some people on the YouTube to start, like, having back.
Responding
like,
back?
I'm not going to claim that I'm one of those people who are, like, going to give, like, a really structured interview where it's really, like,
No, we're gonna sit here and
with,
shoot the
like,
shit.
shoot the shit and, like, learn some shit. And maybe,
Well, now that I got my computer up and running,
She does.
I can do stuff like this too.
well, let's link
I
it
just-
up and we'll have
I just need to get a webcam, and I got a headset, so
yeah, link it up. We'll start having conversations with,
I could do
We'll
radio
start-
voice.
what?
I could do just like radio style, like not with a camera.
Okay, that
You
works.
guys should game together too. You should get online with Final Fantasy.
He plays the other Final Fantasy, the one that's not online.
Wow, you should play the online one.
I don't want to fork out money every month for a game.
I respect that.
Like,
I actually play it, so it's worth it.
yeah.
Yeah.
For
If
me,
you don't play it, it's not worth it.
like for me, it's more like I like it just actually beat the storyline, and I beat the turtle.
Nice.
Yeah,
Good job.
that was the Ring of Lucy Eye, man. You just when he goes to like move, you just teleport to another warp spot. Then you hit him again, and because you teleported while he was like smacked in his fin, you're good. You're golden.
You get that
Tremendous.
I haven't even. Yeah, I still haven't even beat that game.
You go get him, Tiger.
I'm on the beginning of chapter 4. I'm level 38.
It's
And
a
I've
good game.
got like 150,000 experience points. I'm just farming until I have a bunch, and then I'm gonna go to the place and do double up on my experience points, and
I found it's easier just to do all the side quests.
that's what I've been doing.
Yeah, like I was just kind of going along doing side quests and just letting myself level up. I'm at like level 50 something.
Yeah, I'm
Maybe
gonna
56.
level up, and like when next time I go down, it's gonna be like probably gonna be way the fuck up there. I hope.
Yeah, there's a lot of experience points to go into. I really like that game. That was a good game. And like I'm not a gamer anymore.
There's a movie for it.
I watched it.
Yeah.
I love it. The post credit scene is the beginning scene in the game.
Oh, is it?
So
Oh,
the-
yeah.
The post credit
that's
scene
right,
in the
that's
movie
right,
is
that's
the
right.
first scene of the
Of
actual
them where
game.
they're like outside the city and
Yeah, pushing the car and shit. Yeah, that was a
Kinda
good.
cool. And then now if you get like the seasons pass or whatever, there's three there's 3 episodes where it's like episode Prompto, episode Gladiolus, and episode Ignis, and it's like a whole nother like story about them, and like you get more info on
Nice.
the characters. And then there's also like a short anime series.
I love how they do that where they like.
They have like a short where they had like 4 or 5 like 10-minute episodes or whatever, and it's just like about how they all met or how they all got to be like the group that they are, and like how Gladio is the son of like the head of like the knights or whatever, and then his family is like they're known as like they're like the king's shield or something is what they call themselves, because they're the defenders. So he basically trained his whole life knowing that he was going to become the prince's bodyguard.
Yeah.
And then like Ignis, he got sent to school in England or somewhere, well, the in-game equivalent of sent away to like become knowledgeable and like become the brain for the prince, and then his nerdy best friend Prompto, who like that his story was my favorite. It was the cutest. He was went to school with, he was a fat kid, and he went to school with the prince, and like he ended up saving a dog, which ended up being the prince, Luna Freya's dog. Like, those dogs, and it was just a little puppy, and he hurt himself, so they like kind of nursed him back to health, and the dog left, and like he brought back a letter from Luna Freya saying like, oh, you must be good friends with the prince, and blah blah blah, and like, please take good care of him because he needs a good friend like you, or something like that. And like, this kid doesn't actually know the prince, so he like went to approach him because he was like, I'm gonna be friends with him, with Noct. And something happened, and he like got nervous, and he like fell over, and like, so Noctis was trying to give him a hand up, but he was said, oh, you're heavy, because he's a fat kid. So then after that, he like trained every day for like 2 years until he finally felt that he was like good enough, and like, so he could be like on par, and like all of a sudden he's just this beautiful babe. I was like, oh, little Prompto, he's so cute. He's my favorite.
I think Noctis is my favorite character in that game. That's just because I get to play him.
Yeah.
I got other games too. Like, I find that I don't really like the first person shooters. They make me sick to my stomach.
I enjoy first person shooters.
Yeah, you should get GTA 5.
Something like that I'd play.
You should get it because I got it, and we could play it together.
I'd be down with that.
I gotta get back to playing Fallout after I'm done the Uncharted series. Yeah, but I want to get back to that. And then probably play online with Black Ops.
Okay.
I don't dedicate that much time to the
I don't either, but a lot of like all my siblings play online when it comes to Call of Duty, so they've been asking me to join their party, and I'm like, yeah, okay.
Even having bought a PlayStation, like, I still use my laptop more than I use my PlayStation. I have YouTube on my, and like, YouTube is my media source. I'm always like looking for new YouTube channels. Like, you can learn anything off the YouTube. Anything.
Oh yeah, basically.
We're live streaming to the YouTube, to ourselves.
The YouTube.
We are live streaming to ourselves right
on
now.
The Facebook,
do you know when you
can
could connect your phone to your PS4 YouTube?
What kind of phone do you have?
Yeah, you can just go onto YouTube on your PS4 and like go into your settings, and you'll find like a connect.
I've done that.
Yeah, so you can use your phone as like basically a remote to YouTube.
I should really start doing that more often. That would be.
So you could just control it from it's just easier.
It's nice.
But anyways, I'm hungry.
I think
it's
home time.
Time for us to hit the old dusty trail.
Well, that was a fun little chat. I enjoyed it. This has been Drunk Chats with the Winterfolk.
Next time I'll get drunk and
it's a fun play on words because we're Canadian, so we're the Winterfolk, and it's also the name of my band, which is working on an album right now that is pretty good. Absolutely, I'm gonna brand the living shit out of it just everywhere I can.
Everywhere. What are you guys called again?
The Winterfolks.
The Winterfolks.
Yeah.
Is the folk a play on for what you guys do for genre?
Yeah.
I like it. I like it.
Yeah. We were the Winter City at one point, or we were Winter City, and then that just
fizzled.
Yeah. I can't remember why. I think because they kept bringing us to Edmonton, which was originally why I named it the band Winter City after Edmonton. I didn't realize they actually used that as a slogan. So.
It kind of is the Winter City.
Yeah, I love that city so much.
It is quite fantastic.
Oh, so much. If it wasn't for my spawn, I'd be living there again. All right, everybody, have a